And I realized like along the way, like, man, something is different here. Like I'm experiencing like I'm going through the fire, man. And it's not just something that you can pray away. It's not just something that you can, I don't know, like eat something and feel better about. Like I legit could not get out of bed. Like sometimes I couldn't get out of bed. And it wasn't like I could be positive about this or anything at all. Like it was just like, this is just how it was for the day and I couldn't get out. And so I realized that I recognize that, like, you know what, I don't like how I'm feeling. I don't like what I'm going through. And even though I feel like I can't do anything about it, I want to try to do something about it. Dumelang bagaetsho, welcome to Bagaetsho Follow Your Bliss. My name is Zubelo, welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome to the channel. If you're returning, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and click that subscription button. I really appreciate those of you that do support. And besides, what are you doing watching the channel if you haven't subscribed? What are you doing? What are you doing? Just go ahead and subscribe. So go ahead and click that button. So, in my last video, I spoke about well, first of all, before we get into this video, like shout out to all of you guys that just messaged post my last video telling me about the different opportunities that are there in China, and also just telling me about like how we should just like stick together, keep on going on, and like being strong. Post my video. I appreciate all of your words of encouragement. And just back to you guys, like if you are going through the most, like just hang on, because there will be a better day. Things have gotten a lot better on my end, but yeah, like there will be a better day, like guaranteed. This is just the season. So getting into the video, the last time I spoke to you guys, I spoke about just like the different things that I was doing in order to gain some mental clarity besides meditation and yoga. And I wanted to speak to you guys about some of those things in this video. So as you guys know, I was on this like streak of just meditating every day, and also just, you know, like really trying to do my best to show up for myself and do some yoga practice on a daily basis. And that was really like super fundamental to me just feeling a whole lot better. So let's start from the beginning, right? So during COVID, I realized that like I had always thought I understood depression, but the reality is that like I had never really like truly dealt with it, at least like firsthand, like as in like me going through it. And I realized like along the way, like, man, something is different here. Like I'm experiencing like I'm going through the fire, man. And it's not just something that you can pray away. It's not just something that you can, I don't know, like eat something and feel better about. Like I legit could not get out of bed. Like sometimes I couldn't get out of bed. And it wasn't like I could be positive about this or anything at all. Like it was just like, this is just how it was for the day and I couldn't get out. And so I realized that I recognize that, like, you know what, I don't like how I'm feeling. I don't like what I'm going through. And even though I feel like I can't do anything about it, I want to try to do something about it. So I know there are some of you that are just going to be like, you can't just do that with depression and stuff like that. And you know, like every person's experiences is like their own individual experience. I'm not going to speak on anybody's experiences. I'm purely going to talk about like what I went through. And yeah, man, so like I decided, like I did a cry for help to myself about like the things that I was going through. And I decided that, like, you know what, because I don't want to know what happens to me if I don't make an effort to like try to get better, I'm just gonna like take some steps, like small steps on a daily basis, but I'm gonna do it regardless because I want to be me at the end of this whole thing. Okay, so I started with the meditation and the yoga, and then I was like, okay, cool. I need to do something else. Like I need something drastic, right? So I started taking cold showers, like literally every morning, for I think a month or 2 months, just because I felt like I needed something that would be a complete shock to my body. I needed something to be committed to, and I needed something that was like challenging and difficult, something that I would want to give up on, like on a daily basis. And trust me, there were days where I was just like, what is this? And and like, mind you, I was doing this during winter, so it wasn't like the easiest of things. So yeah, I got up every morning and I took cold showers, and I'm not talking like lukewarm. I'm talking like a cold, like I was like making sounds while I was taking these cold showers. And this really, like, I realized like the first 3 days were like really difficult. I was like, what am I doing? Am I crazy? Like what's up? I realized though, like 3 days in, that I was kind of enjoying the process of like, it was more like a cleanse. So I was enjoying this process of like something washing like all of these things that were toxic to me away. And at least like that was like that's what it meant figuratively to me, right? So yeah, I would go in the shower every morning, put on like cold water, and go through that like moment of like, oh my gosh, this is so like difficult, this is so like, it's gonna be so painfully cold and icy, and like but once I got over that, it literally felt like I had achieved something. And doing this on a daily basis made me feel like I was winning at something. Because during COVID, I mean, we're still going through it, right? But like during lockdown and quarantine, it was like I didn't have any projects, I wasn't working. So if I didn't have any goals, I mean, I had goals, but like I think everybody is the same. We all got excited about the time that we were gonna have, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, I can't do any of these things. I have all this time, but I don't have like the energy or the mental state to wake up and be committed and get into it. So like that gave me something to achieve on a daily basis, and that whole process of like achieving something on a daily basis like was monumental to like my thinking patterns. And like it just really reprogrammed this mental state that I was in of like, I'm losing everything, nothing is working out. It just really feeling like nothing, and it made me feel like somebody who was doing something that small, that basic, but it was like, it meant the world to me that I could achieve something on a daily basis. This started making me feel like, okay, cool, like I'm achieving one thing, so like what's the next thing that I could potentially like work towards and achieve. So that was like really, really good for my mental state. I also realized that like it washed away like the negative thinking patterns that I had scripted in my head. I had pretty much gotten into the space of like, oh, this is shaking. So I had pretty much gotten into the space of like, life is not worth living. I knew that I didn't want to die, right? Like that was very clear to me. But I felt like what was the point of it all? Not in a I'm gonna harm myself and hurt myself kind of way, but like in I see, man, I just felt like super low. And just that whole cleansing every morning, I actually did in the evenings too. I tried to do it every evening, but I wasn't showering every evening. But I definitely did it like every morning. It just made me feel positive. It made me feel positive all over again. It made me feel optimistic. It made me feel like things were gonna get better, and it made me feel like recharged. like I had something to prepare for. Because once I started becoming positive again, I really imagined a reality where things were not as bad as they were, like my reality was. And once I started imagining like a different world, I started wanting to prepare myself for like that world, to be okay in that world. And so yeah, that was like really, really big for me. If you'd like to like hear more, I should do like just one, like a video about just the showering part, taking cold showers. I can do that. Let me know in the comments. So I did that for a month or two, and that was like really, 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 really important for rescripting my thinking patterns. Another thing that I would do, this was like essentially my routine. I would wake up, I would meditate, I would do yoga, and then I would take a cold shower. Sometimes I would take a cold shower, I would meditate, and then I would do yoga. And I would wake up at like 5 or something like this in the morning, when it was dark and still and just quiet, and I just felt like those are really precious hours. Like those hours early on when the world is not operating, those are the hours that you can use to like literally rescript your brain. And so I utilized that. And then after that I would journal. So journaling was mainly about like gratitude. It could be like something as small as, I'm so grateful for my body because today I managed to like just show up for myself on the mat, you know, like just little things. I'm so grateful for the people that are around me, the support that I have. I'm so grateful for like just the food that I am going to have today, or like the food that I ate last night. Like small things, but I was like consistently and consciously expressing gratitude for just life, you know, because I realized that people are out here like just not surviving and passing away because of COVID. And here I am, like, yes, without my family, yes, without a job, yes, like, but I have a roof over my head. I have people that love me. I have my family. I have like friends. Like it was just, I just had to express gratitude. So I did that for a bit, not for a bit, for like a while. I still do that today. Like even now, I'm on a streak. I started meditating like 2 weeks ago. Just like, no, I'm lying. Like a month ago, kind of like almost sort of kind of consistently, not quite, but the last 2 weeks have been more consistent than the past month for sure. But I started again because I'm like, I need good habits in my life. I need to consistently try to cultivate all of that. So like I did that, and yeah, and the other thing that I did, I consistently made an effort to eat good food, like consciously ate good food, because when I was in my mental funk, I was eating like pizza, I was eating McDonald's, I was eating like all types of Chinese food. Like I was just eating like stuff that should have never been going into my body, stuff that was like harming me instead of like healing me. And you know, like that's a form of like self-love. And like, of course I didn't have any, I would say subconsciously I love myself, but like it wasn't like a conscious thing that I was doing to display that love. So I was definitely harming my body by not consuming food that was good for me, that would help me feel good and feel better. So I changed that as well. And I tried to make an effort to speak to people that were only going to speak about positive things. Even though they were going through challenges, they were still optimistic about life. And I know that this can be tricky because like so many people are going through it. So I want to be careful and respectful in how I'm delivering this message by saying that I will surround myself with people that were optimistic about life, because it's not everybody that that manages that. And when I was in my own funk, there was nothing optimistic that was coming out of my mouth. So but there were people that had enough patience, enough grace in their hearts for me, and I'm so grateful for that. So to anybody that is going through something, this is nothing against you. I hope that the people in your life can show you the same grace as the people in my life did, and still show up for you and support you. So that's what I did. I made sure that I just spoke to people that, you know, like would pour into my life, would speak into my life, would pray for me and stuff like that. And I don't know if I mentioned like praying. I fasted for like I fasted for like 21 days, and then I think like moment by moment, I fasted after that. So it was like this combination of like maybe 5 or 6 things that I was doing together that just made me feel better. I had to be extremely aggressive about how I wanted to show up on the other end once all of this was like getting better. And yeah, like that's what I did. I can't remember what else. Oh, I read books. I read not a ton of books. I read a ton of books, but I didn't finish all of them. But I read a lot. And that was also to contribute towards my mental clarity and to rescript my thinking patterns, and to just like remind myself that I'm actually a boss. That like remind myself that I'm actually like a good person, a person who is worthy of existing, worthy of good things, worthy of love, worthy of just like all types of freedom, and freedom for my like mental state. So, you know, like all of these things really, really helped me. And, you know, I really hope that, again, if you're going through it, you would perhaps borrow from like some of the things that I was doing. You know yourself best, so you could also just like figure out what it is that's really good for you and try to make an effort to like do those things. But I promise you, like, things are gonna get better. For me, it's been like I've been doing this consistently, not consistently, but sort of kind of. I've been doing this, making this effort for like maybe 4 or 5 months now, and May, June, July, August, about 4 months, and I can't even begin to explain to you the benefits of having made the decision to get out of my mental funk. But yeah, like I really hope that you gain the courage to make that effort to wake up in the mornings, to just try every day, even if you're not running, you're just crawling. Like just try to get better. And like I'm sending you good energy. I'm praying for you. I'm loving you from a distance, and I hope that you gain the courage, whatever it is, to follow your bliss. Follow your bliss.